design as damage sources, but
the CLG days are ahead of us, man. Believe.
Exactly. The good CLG days may yet come, guys. Whatever, they're not in this game either way. We have ourselves, though, a match champ select coming in here. Braum, they must have something I don't. I'm surprised that Braum is so highly prized here, honestly, by Imagine, but they're so scared of it away from Amelia, really.
Yeah, it's like Twisted Fate. They know something we don't about ManCloud, and then the Braum away from Amelia. That's her backup. Maybe they want to play a poke composition and get Braum off the table. But I assume now it's probably going to be first pick Thresh, because you didn't ban Thresh. You don't want Amelia to have it. She will definitely take it. She first picked it last time, showing that's how much priority Renegades puts on that champion. Also,
well, keep in mind, Callista, though, is up without the Urgot. That's actually a big, that's a big trade back and forth that I'm not sure you're ready for. The Nidalee ban, I think, is a bit strange for Renegades because I think you have Callista as important, Thresh is important, and the Nidalee as important that I assume Crumbs can play well. Keep in mind that Imagine banned that themselves last time around, so unless there's something else that's like also high on the tier list that needs to be grabbed away right off the bat, I question the Nidalee ban a little bit.
You make them think about it, but Moon would definitely take Nidalee 100%.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
So you would give up the Nidalee, you would get
if you were willing to bargain it, right. So Thresh is grabbed away, so that does get denied here. The Braum and Thresh now away. Now, last time around, Amelia played Morgana when those two weren't up, so that's been her tier list so far. Of course, Alistar is still up, Shen's still up, Nautilus is still up, so we'll see what that ends up being. There's the Callista right off the bat, and interestingly, they rush pick the Orianna. They don't want to let ManCloud get that and take it away from Alexich, and so a secured pick there.
So I was looking back right before this, in the break, where what Alex played during play-ins. So in the finals of play-ins, they already knew that they were in because it was the finals of play-ins, right? You already were guaranteed to come in because it was number 1 and 2, and we had 3 spots.
Did you even play that match? I don't think you play.
No, we did have one because it was between them and Magnetic.
Okay, I trust you, but
maybe it was finals.
That would have been because the Magnetic came down to face up against these guys here, up against Imagine. That would have been the finals. That would have been like the top 2 match. They stopped after top 2.
It might have been the finals.
Their qualifier match, regardless.
Yeah, regardless. Anyway, but the first part of that, he played Orianna 4 out of their 5 games before the finals. So, and the game he didn't play it, they lost. So when they're in elimination matches, he seems to default towards this champion very early on, just for comfort to be able to pull out a win. He knows his champion through and through, and he knows how to control the game with it.
Absolutely. All right, well, Imagine looking at different champions here themselves, actually entirely changing up the composition. 3 different champions here. ManCloud had the choice of Azir, saw the Orianna, said, you know what, Victor's going to be better in this matchup, goes for the Victor here with Callista off the table. Steelbook just goes down 1 peg and says, okay, I'll play Corki myself. Renegades sticking to a lot of the same champions, though. Given the choice, Rek'Sai again for Crumbs, and with the other 2 off the table, just back to this Morgana here for Amelia. So Renegades not changing much. They leave their top laner counter pick here, so we'll see what RF wants to play into whatever Chunky Fresh does pick for himself. Now, we said maybe a carry jungler still to come in here. I do like Evelynn. I think it's usually Runeglaive in a tank, though I like playing Runeglaive into more AP. That's, of course, a bit risky. And we actually have also some hybrid damage coming out in the top lane. So Chunky Fresh still an engaged champion, but more reliable and much higher damage.
Yes, much higher damage here from Imagine across the board. So they realized they went with too many tanks. And they weren't tanky enough.
So they switched a lot of them.
So they switched a lot of them. So they have more threats on this composition. No matter who gets gold, as long as it's not the support, you're going to have somebody who has potential to carry this game. So looking at Imagine's composition, they've shored up some of the weaknesses of it. But they traded a little bit of the engage power.
They traded a ton of tankiness.
Yeah, and tankiness. So we'll see what they do here with Moon's build, because he went 2 AP items last time with the Runeglaive and then the Morella Nomicon.
Right.
You wanted the Nashers. I remember that very clearly.
Specifically better. It's just strong.
It's very
If they were on Black Market Brawlers, maybe he'd go Rite of Ruin or something, but I realized I can't buy Morella Nomicon, so I'm like not used to the item builds anymore. Like all my AP Evelynn games like this week have been on weird builds because I can't buy like the items I normally would. But either way though, okay, so Hecarim in the top lane, Gnar is the counter pick here for RF, so RF has great ways of getting into fights here. You've got Morg, you can fish for Morg bindings, you can toss in the Morgana. I love Callista Morg as a combo, it's super strong. And you still got Gnar, Rek'Sai, and Orianna for follow-up, so still a great teamfight comp for Renegades. This Gnar can still be a damage threat. He can build 2 damage items like a Hex Drinker, not in this matchup, but like, you know, Black Cleaver, maybe something else, or he can go for the full tank build if that's what this team needs, which maybe they do with Amelia being on a squishy. Team Imagine, 3 and like 3/4 damage threats. Evelynn's part way, Hecarim's part way, high damage comp. They still can engage themselves, and What I do like, this team actually has some burst. So if they catch out a Squishy, they can actually kill that champion off. I think it's a big deal here for Imagine.
Yeah. Pick potential is very important. And the fact that Imagine, they don't have that tankiness. They need to be able to make it a 4v5 as soon as possible if they can catch somebody.
Yeah, that's going to be the goal for them. Of course, they have plenty of good engage R buttons. And also, as I keep thinking about the champ select here, there is a couple of issues, though, in that I think there is a counterpick in the support. I think Morgana is great against Thresh. Even if you Black Shield late, you still prevent Flay or further pullbacks from the hook. So you can make a lot of things work okay. Still multiple shields from Renegades, but we are into the game here. Game 2, Renegades, 1 game away from the Challenger Finals. Team Imagine need to win this to stay alive in that hope, or they fall to the third place match.
And then you have to come back next week and compete to even get a chance to compete against an LCS team.
That's true. Either way, these teams will be facing either Coast or Cloud9 Tempest next week. That matchup is tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. RF did take the first damage this game, though. Looks like he got sliced up by Hecarim. Sick ward, bro. So I realized something about a week ago. Trinkets actually just stealth slower than regular wards do. I never realized it. But I was like, wow, why do sometimes like wards, why are they sometimes harder to kill? They actually stealth at different rates. Because like very easy to auto attack Trinkets down. You pretty much can't do it for wards. FYI.
Or if you have Katarina and she shumpos to one, it stays alive longer. Or at least it stays visible longer.
Yep. You added that like 2 years ago. Shunpo forcibly reveals wards she jumps to. Counts enemies. Okay, Chunky, Fresh, and Moon will be double jungling top side. So again, 5.14, so it does have some slight Evelyn nerfs. The late game, well, mid-game Q damage goes down. But with the buffed Runeglaive, as I would say it, I think it's even crazier as far as clearing jungle camps go. And
the buffed jungle Runeglaive.
Yeah.
It's a big nerf to laners, but it's a jungle item.
Sure,
let's keep it in the jungle.
From the Evelyn perspective, I would say it's buffed.
Thank the Lord.
I'm okay with this. Yeah, Ezreal's pretty much, AP Ezreal's pretty much gone. I'm okay with this.
Oh, man, I can sleep easy. Jungle items stay in the jungle.
Get your Runeglaives off my lawn.
No, I want them in the lawn. I don't want them down. I don't want them running down the lanes, down the streets.
Oh gosh. All right. I'll give you that one. Well, duo jungle starting out just fine. We once again have default lanes here. The double jungle starts. The TPs come in afterwards. Hecarim first to the party. Is running TP Ignite. Plenty of potions with that Doran's Blade. 5 of them to be exact. RF, same scenario here. 5 pots and a longsword.
Renegades do, once again, get the better of the lane swap because Gnar does really well into Hecarim, extraordinarily well. And then you also have, like you said, the Morgana into the Thresh. Very good matchup there for the Morgana.
All right, Moon level 3 half-leaf still has potions as well. The double jungle helping that, of course, quite a lot. Jungle speed, actually, Moon does have the slight edge over this Crumb's Rek'Sai, so maybe that can maintain strength. Meanwhile, just slow and steady the race in this game. Imagine the smallest of gold leads from the laning phases, but that doesn't mean all too much. It's mostly minion wave manipulation. Moon to the quick defensive trinket before he recalls to make sure there's no sneaky Rek'Sai ganks on the back side of the Victor. It's actually really good the ward goes down there. He knows Rek'Sai is on the bottom side of the map. Ermilia. Just safety Black Shield.
I'm actually very surprised that Moon backed there for his jungle item. Had double buffs, had an extra potion in his inventory, decided not to pop it and look for an early gank or at least an early flash.
He can't go for bottom and mid, just I don't think it's going to work up there when Victor doesn't have any damage yet. Nice bind on a steal back, quick lantern to keep all well. But still gold earned by Ermilia. And RS coming through, so CS nearly equal, but actually Imagine can now build a freeze in this bot lane. It's an outnumbered wave. That could matter. Early pink ward comes out from Moon, but will not be tracking Crumbs for a while. He's on the other side of the map here.
They do know that he's there, though. They saw him with the ward on the right side of the right side of the mid lane while he was killing.
And now Moon is going to try. Still has red buff, has chilling smite. Alex past the halfway point. This is actually a huge risk. Here's the attempt. Damage coming through. The slows are in. Summoner heal already used. The distortion going to buy him enough time, or command dissonance rather. Moon will not get anything else done. He had the chance to actually counter juggle the top side of the map and take Krugs. Didn't choose to do so, even though he knew Rek'Sai was on that side. So went for the gank instead of the counter juggle. Got a heal for it.
We also knew that Rek'Sai hadn't completed a jungle item just yet, hadn't upgraded his smite. So you had a good opportunity to do that. He's going to go back to the Raptors, knowing the timer.
The Moon's going to get Raptors, though.
Right before Crumbs gets there. He'll be pretty much see him on the way out.
Well, I would say that's advantage for the Imagine team right here. One camp counter jungled so far, getting chased out now by the Rek'Sai, but all is well. Moon is not walking away with Raptor buff. Of course, the smite was on cooldown, but the camp's still gone. Chilling smite for both these guys, by the way. Crumbs does want the slow. Once again, a fight for the Scuttle Crab, but Moon's totally safe here. Crumbs cannot steal away, and Scuttler's now traded equally. Top lane matchup actually very close as well. RF has a momentary lead, but Chunky Fresh has minions to kill. So that matchup's fine. AD carry matchup's fine. Mid lane matchup's fine. It's really just the junglers separating themselves very slightly here. And this is a much, well, I guess just a slightly better early game for Imagine. They are not behind this time around. Actually does spell good things for them.
This is a team that usually is about 1,000 gold behind at 15 minutes. And let's see if this actually keeps up, because if they can stay even with Renegades before those big team fights start popping out everywhere.
Yeah, and I think short term, the items get a nice try. The items get a lot better for Imagine. Trinity Force, Power Spike, and even just parts of it are better than like the piecemeal build of the Callista. The first upgrade for the 1,200 gold Victor also going to be better than Orianna on a Chalice. Hecarim just is crazy at 6 all the time, whereas RF needs the Rage Bar. So I actually expect the next 5 minutes to be an unlocked period for Imagine.
Yeah, and you have Evelynn, which
it's just crazy.
I would assume is a little bit of a natural enemy to Crumbs. Crumbs prioritizes vision so much that now he doesn't know when he's stalked, he doesn't know when he's using him. This is not that great, though.
Miscommunication there. Flay also going to miss against the Black Shield, but Steelback should not have needed to Valkyrie there. He should have known there's an easy lantern for him, but oh well. Chose to hide away. RF 6 with the Mega Gnar bar. Chunky will have to stay safe, but once again, it's Chunky allowed to play defensively into the lane. Interesting small point about CS at 10 stats, by the way, is it doesn't count minions in the lane waiting for you. So if you typically play defensively in your lane, you wait for waves to push in, you can be like -5 or -6 kind of falsely. Like in this case, if you did CS at 7, he'd be equal, but yet he's actually going to be ahead. Really minor point, but just an interesting point about stats.
Yeah, it does not work very well for mid laners.
Yeah, those are clear back and forth.
Hey, look at that minion just chilling back there.
I don't know if that's a real one.
It's not a real one.
No.
Just walked right through.
RF though, oh, the ult missed! Chunky Fresh just missed it! Moon on the chase, he'll get it, he'll get it.
There you go.
W's away, tower properly tanked by Chunky Fresh, good first blood. Good kill picked up, Moon. Whoa, buddy, taxing the wave, not giving the XP to Chunky Fresh. That's actually bad mechanics right there.
He's just weakening it. He's just weakening it.
Okay, okay, he didn't take too much of it.
He's just helping him shove
That's
it
way too selfless. I guess he got first blood. I guess he got first blood, so it's okay.
You're giving him crap. You're like, he's taxing the wave. And I'm like, no, he's not taxing the wave. You're like, oh,
he should have taxed the wave.
He should have taxed it. That's too selfless.
I just mean he needs to share XP. I don't mind the tax. I just mean that XP is shared because there's bonus XP if there's 2 at least.
Moon can't do anything right. Moon. Oh. Crumbs over the wall, though.
For the harass. No binding from Ilium.
He wasn't in position for that.
I think it's fine just to do that, though. It's just damage in it. It's not like you're going to fight for anything else in the near future. Moon, though, is level 6, and that is a big deal. Blue buff transfer. ManCloud is actually delaying his recall pretty severely. He's going to have 2,000 gold on this recall, and is still not going back just yet.
So he's going to try to clear this wave as fast as possible. Alex each back. Hope he can buy. It's going to take him a laser and some autos. Depends on how many he actually misses here. If he doesn't miss any. No, he missed 1.
He missed like 3.
He missed 2 out of that wave. Alex is going to be able to... Alex is going to miss 2 as well, though, I believe. So, yeah. Still got experience on that last one, though. So, tiny things that we're keeping track of here. Going to be able to upgrade. Goes for a null magic mantle.
Oh, Baby didn't press Q2 in time. He just didn't hit the button. He would have been in melee range. Yeah, Black Shield would have been up, but it still would have broken. And that could have been actually a chance for some plays. Steelback, of course, magic damage could have broken Black Shield himself, and really actually might have had to lose Flash.
Or you could have... Maple would have been able to...
Ult away. Okay, then
Fate's call him.
Some cooldown would have been used, but unfortunately...
But they trade their own ulti for nothing.
Yeah, so misplay by Baby. Unfortunate there. Moon spots the pick ward in his jungle. In time. 100 mana lost by Steelback. Yeah, so Runeglaive Evelynn. The recall for ManCloud was, by the way, Negatron Cloak plus Tier 1 Victor item. So Abyssal Scepter Rush for him, wants to get a lot of burst down. That will actually help Moon's damage in teamfights as well.
I want to see Moon get into these lanes again. Go back to RF. Go back to where Chunky Fresh is.
Oh, Chunky Fresh might just be in the fountain, though. He's got to run away from this one. RF with a great trade right there. Chunky gets pretty wrecked. He does have teleport and home guards available. He's got to make sure, though, that he doesn't give away Dragon based on his plays here. Moon smites away, says it's probably in there. It is.
Yep.
Nice, even gets the attack speed buff. That's like exactly perfectly done.
You can see that too, RF. As soon as RF gets a lane advantage, he walks straight in the jungle and just wards it up.
Yeah, really smart.
He's #1, like I said, for top laners in warding. And this is why every time he gets an advantage, and he likes to split push too, so then he just puts wards down all day long and just opens up the map for the team. So Renegades is very vision-centric. They're going for Baby, though.
Baby's got to be a bit careful. Black Shield not going to get broken. Maple Street dodges away from the
TP. He has it.
Big trade comes in. Chunky was not on Fountain, so he's not home guard here. Really not going to land the binding until after the damage comes through, but now Chunky overextended, could get ulted. Vermilia not going to go for that, though.
She doesn't have it.
Oh, it was already down. Yeah,
Moon's in this push,
on Baby earlier. Moon's around. There's a knockout by Crumbs. Chunky Fresh going to take so much damage. No kill going to happen for Imagine. Just the kill for Renegades. They're nicely done for themselves.
And now they get damage on top turret.
Yeah.
And they got that kill on top of everything. ManCloud will get a little bit of damage on this turret, but it doesn't mean a whole lot in the grand scheme of things, because now they still have priority bottom.
Yep, they do have priority. Alex roamed down for no effect, though, so it just means a little bit of farm, a little bit of pressure done, but Crumbs still playing aggressively, will find a pink ward, clears that away nicely for himself, and Renegade's now back in the driver's seat. Even though it's 1-to-1 in kills, they're ahead in gold. And top lane's actually just exploded because of that that TP that failed. Yeah,
Chunky TP'd in without his ultimate. And even if he had it, it looked like Vermilia would have just gotten Fates called out of that situation.
You can't target the support of a Kalista. It's just never, ever going to work successfully here. And Maple played defensively enough to always be safe and was easily able to pull away the Morgana. Moon not flanking around River. It's weird that he's going for a lane gank here when you... I would expect you just want to flank around. No ulti's up. He gets into the brush successfully, though. This could be a really good push. Goes in towards Maple. Black Shield used after the slow lands, and Maple has to burn Flash, but might still go down. The late ulti pop. The slow is enough. There's the kill, and now Vermilia so screwed. Kill comes around. Nicely ganked. And a safety box just to make sure.
Moon having another damage threat on the team with that early Runeglaive means that he's able to show up to these, and that's a lot of damage. People have gotten to the point where you always think either there's a Nidalee in the game or there's somebody who's really tanky. So Nidalee ganks, I know the damage they're going to deal to me. They're just going to destroy this lane. Or I'm going to get a little bit chipped out by a Gragas. But when an Evelynn shows up with Runeglaive, she's doing so much damage. 100% kill participation from Moon. 2 kills falling over to him early.
That's not bad.
And he does a large portion of Imagine's damage compared to other junglers. So when he gets going, we see him, he might pick up that second offensive item.
No.
I don't know if he's going to go for it.
Could be a Rylaze.
It could be. I don't think it is. But if he does go for a second offensive item in this team composition, it wouldn't be that bad. But they do have 3 threats already with the Hecker in the top.
Yeah, this is troublesome, though. I wonder if Chunky Fresh is going to go for the full Triforce or go Phage into tank right here, or even like Black Cleaver into tank or something, because I'm not sure that with him already being behind in gold, it feels like it's a role that this team doesn't need. They've already got Moon on damage. He's going to try again for R from the top lane. No ultis available for the Evelynn, but there is one for Chunky Fresh. Flash and jump already down. Chunky will not die of this. RF has teleport, has the makings of a frozen mallet, and almost the money to complete it.
Well, that's a successful gank in my book. You get that Flash. RF, you give Chunky lane presence again.
And you get a lot of time.
They're still looking at top turret, though.
And Crumbs waiting on a ward. He doesn't realize that Dragon's warded. This should not be successful here. As long as Baby plays defensively, Steelback could not die here. And you can see how far back Baby's playing. Easy wave clear, not a problem whatsoever. Top lane's gonna go down. Well chosen by Moon to make sure this goes down. Does take part of the goal, but that's fine. Crumbs goes to solo Dragon, but keep in mind, this could be a threat. Teleport up for RF. I don't see this being stopped.
Don't contest this if you're Imagine. Let it go. Renegades, good choice there. They know the TP is up and that the other TP is down.
Good pressure.
And that they also have bottom shoved in really hard.
All right, Dragon for top turret. Mana Crystal up for Chunky Fresh. He's got home guards, so he'll get back to the bottom lane here. So interesting. Imagine going for a power play on the bottom side of the map. They think they've got enough time with RF hiding top lane. I think RF has to freeze.
Try to pull
because
his
he's missing Flash.
Gank bottom through the lane with Hecarim. Try to pull the TP out so that you have TP advantage for the next fight. Even if you just get TP, you don't have to fully commit to this fight. If you can disengage it after.
I don't think it's going to happen. Moon doesn't have... Moon's on the wrong side of the map, so even though ultis are up, they realized that RF was not freezing. Chunky was choosing to jungle because they expected a potential freeze, and he's going to just get back to top lane.
Yeah, he's got home guard, so he'll just clippity clop up there very quickly.
Press E, run.
Yep.
No big deal. Okay, so top lane freeze broken. Early. Yeah, it's, I mean, you have like no combat stats. You saw how ineffective he was on the Merc Treads, like TP gank that did nothing, but we're on a 600 gold lead. Imagine looking so much better in the early game, a full like 1,500 gold better than game 1 was. And they are set up to definitely have a much better mid-game. Triforce done pretty early on for this Corki. Alex Ich with the safe blue buff though. Mid lane really not being perturbed whatsoever. They're just playing the wave clear game back and forth between the two of them. Crumbs also not getting any counter juggling done this game. Moon's having a much better impact. Still a 20 million difference to the top side though. That is a bit of a threat. And a bit of a scare here. RF can do a lot, and with the Frozen Mallet build, he can chase down Hecarim. RF playing very defensively though. He is. There's
no turrets, a long lane.
Yeah, he's afraid of Evelyn. You can see he's only last hitting with boomerangs. But it's getting worse and worse, and at some point you can just freeze. Crumbs is nowhere near the side of the map. He doesn't have any tunnels as well. He's heading this way, but he's not here yet. RF also nearly Meganar, so this gank I don't think it's going to work. They're going to try right now, but here comes Meganar. A lot of damage coming through. Stuns them both up. RF has so much time to use now. No flash, though. Chunky Fresh wants to save the ulti and will be able to do so. Beautifully done. They did it just in time. Crumbs was not around. Too much damage.
Pick on this top lane. That's what he's been doing all game long, and it's working out for Moon. I think that's definitely the lane that you want to go to here after getting those flashes very early on. RF still doesn't have it. You can pick on this lane. Give that Hecarim some snowball potential. There's a Frozen Mallet on RF. It just gives him health. You have mixed damage, and he doesn't have any resistance to negate it.
Yeah.
Keep going to that lane, Moon.
He gets out.
It's a long lane now, too.
Yeah, it's good stuff here. So Imagine feeling good about themselves. 1,100 gold lead here. Crumbs, he's been part of all of his team's kills, but that is only one. Moon's forced a whole lot more this game. Crumbs, of course, the kills make the gold pretty nice, but kills not counted. Crumbs actually otherwise out-farming Moon. Trying to get the ward game down. Ninja Tabby in against a pretty... Actually, I'm surprised that Crumbs went for Ninja Tabby here. I know he wants tank stats, but he's not really dealing with physical auto-attack damage on a large scale here.
Yeah. A lot of the damage from the Hecarim Q. Evelyn's E is physical.
I would really rather Crumbs just have Boots 1 and get a faster Aegis here. Like, they don't cost that much at 675, but even that I don't think is worth it.
Also, getting economy boots on Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai gets bonus movement speed from being so.
Moon gets revealed by a nice little Q from Maple Street. Goes, okay, so he's around. But Crumbs is like right here. This is a bit of a risk. Moon does not have ulti, but has to run away. Imagine knows that Rek'Sai was right there. They realized it was a recently used tunnel. Crumbs goes back into the bot lane, shows himself one more time.
Top turret,
Alex and ManCloud just being equal. Yeah, Chunky leaves it for a while. Home Guard's back, has Sheen now, and 2 upgraded wards here. So Moon is going for Rylays. There's 2 warding totems upgraded already for Imagine, so those wards can be pretty well spaced out, but it means that they really can't burst wards down, so they can't guarantee like that they have control over Dragon, things like that.
Freeze it. Chunky Fresh has just been going to the bottom side camps. He clears the Raptors. He clears
breaking the freeze.
The Krugs. He makes sure that he's on the bottom side, but he's just going to break this freeze. I thought he was going to.
There's no reason to break that freeze. He's got nothing to pressure here. He could deny so much money from RF.
And then RF would have to show up.
He'd have to try to force lane gank bot lane, which honestly is not going to work very well. There's actually pretty damn good wards by Imagine that side of the map.
Oh, man. And now he puts himself in a situation of dilemma where does he break his own freeze and shove it out again?
He has to.
Yeah.
I mean, keep in mind, they just saw Crumb's bot side. They know he was around Tribrush just now. They see him running bottom river, so Chunky's totally safe to shove. Thing is, it's a little bit too early for Dragon. If this was 45 seconds later, I'd say fine. Shove the next wave, walk down to bot lane, use TP, like, have a TP advantage by forcing Dragon and making RF teleport down, but this is just a bit too early. 1 minute is too much time.
Chunky gets this pink ward too, and actually be really nice. Oh,
Moon wants in on
some damage.
Moon does some decent damage, but of course Crumbs is too tanky to really die here. Also, interestingly, Moon is maxing W second. He's actually not maxing the Ravage. Ravage, extra burst, extra attack speed. Moon really wants the cooldown on the movement speed, or on the slow break, as well as the lower cooldown on the dash itself. It's an interesting choice. I believe it's only the cooldown and move speed that are affected on the rank up there.
Yeah, that's really all it has.
Oh, Black Shield did not come in time, so Crumbs was hooked in a little bit. Bottom lane turret does go down. Moon showing up at this side of the map. Hecarim staying top and being safe to do so. Nicely done. Imagine able to abuse one of their power points here. The Trinity Force Sork shoes done on Corki is actually a very big deal, and Chunky now is totally unlocked to play hyper-aggressive topside. RF should not be able to battle him very cleanly. Oh, I take that back. Actually, Frozen Mount's a pretty big deal.
And the fact that it's Gnar. Like, Gnar against Hecarim he's really good.
If Triforce were done, though, Chunky would probably win that matchup.
Yeah.
And Chunky is, he's like 200 gold away from Triforce, but Dragon's alive right now.
Yeah, he needs the pieces.
He's got home guards. He's got some attack speed, and he's going to be able to say, hey, you know what? Bot lane stuck freezing a lane. Imagine complete control of this Dragon. A much, much better played early game Moon. The hard carry of their early game. Everyone is losing lane, except Moon's got them 4 kills.
Moon's got their back. Moon is the guy who they brought onto the team. I wasn't completely convinced by him. Guy wasn't even challenger last year. He also played for, I think, Winter Fox one game.
And was like 0-5.
And did not have a good scoreline at all. And they brought him on. He's getting better at an alarming rate.
Yep.
He definitely looks like he should be here in playoffs, in the Challenger Series playoffs, as the #3 seed, for sure. But in this game, he's stepping up. I like that he went for the warding totem, so he doesn't have to buy Sightstone, so they can keep up with Crumbs.
Yep.
But I also like the pressure and where he's been ganking. It keeps up the damage curve and adds another threat to the team.
Oh, interesting. So imagine, 3rd warding totem now. They have a single sweeper. They have to rely on pink wards and baby for vision denial. So the strategy is consistent, right? They're all going to be participating in wards. They're constantly putting new vision down, but again, they can't burst vision over objectives. They got to play this over the long game. They have to keep keeping the waves pushed up. That is difficult to do. The vision can absolutely lapse from Imagine. They have no good way of replenishing those wards if they all fall at the same time.
They pinged that Moon was on the top side because they saw him standing on a tunnel for half a second. So now they just get to put pressure on bottom. They pull Crumbs to the bottom, and they get this turret no problem.
All right, back to a 500 gold game. 1 Dragon apiece. This is a 3-kill lead with the gold lead not reflecting that at all. Again, the laning phase has been so good. It's still good for Renegades. Crumbs has not been able to gank quite as well as Moon, but Moon is maybe going to start falling off damage-wise here, of course. Still piecing together parts of that Riley's Crystal Scepter. He's not far from it, but that's probably his last damage item here. And Mancloud's got to take over. He's going towards what could be Void Staff or Death Cap that builds into both right here. I would not expect second Riley's.
Are they lane swapping it? They are lane swapping it. Chunky's just going to clear bottom. They're going to send Steelback and Baby to top lane.
Well, it's 20 minutes in. You've got to respect Baron now being an objective, so you're
put your TP on the other side.
Yeah. Basically, it's your AD carry has to be near whatever the next objective is.
Yeah.
And then everyone else just revolves around that. TP usually goes to the other side, but yeah, that's the one like hyper immobile role. Supports often roam, mid laners often roam, AD carries just sit there and farm. Like,
do have to be careful though. There's a lot of ways to actually get to Chunky Fresh here, if they can catch him. If he gets caught out with a binding, there's no flash on this Hecarim. He'll just try to ulti away. He does have a little bit of kill potential on Maple Street, though, if he can actually get to him. And Moon is here as well.
Moon wants in. No TP. Maple Street's going to be in a pretty bad spot, taking a lot of damage. Chunky Fresh will not go all the way in for this one. He expected...
Gonna pull him back?
Oh, both
got the slow.
Is going to land. RF does not have Mega Gnar. That's going to be a fear yet again. Missed by Chunky. His second of the game, but doesn't matter. RF here to fight
They're
Moon.
collapsing.
That's plenty of damage. Red buff's on. RF, though, still close to Mega Gnar. This could be real bad. Chunky Fresh goes down. Moon's screwed right now. Just going to run through the minion wave, hoping to break assist streaks.
Goodbye, Moon. Oh!
And kill goes over to RF. Assist also through Amelia thanks to a black shield. Mid lane not really pressured enough, and that fight did not work out. Maple totally okay with that one.
Yeah, they just had the wave clear in the mid lane. Baby honestly probably should have been a part of that. Having him top side when you're lane swapping.
I mean, they could have hard pushed top.
Great. Yeah, they could have pushed top. They could have shoved middle, but Alex, if he does have this wave clear very quickly, they actually end up after that play giving Renegades a bit of a lead here.
Well, I mean, that's the problem, right? Is without a Sightstone, you can't just like ward up that jungle before you gank. Like, that is the weakness of Warding Totem. I like Warding Totem, but in a situation like this, he could not guarantee that gank was safe. Moon didn't have the wards for it. Sure enough, in comes Renegades. That gets stopped up. Also,
Crumbs just used his ultimate to a tunnel that was behind them, so he was in the middle of the lane when that all...
Sure.
When he actually was able to get to that fight.
Yeah, so two-man dive does fail here, and Crumbs is going to play the farming game one more time. Still perfect kill participation for Moon, but his first death of the game here. We're getting close to the next big items. Blade of the Ruin King. Basically, the money is there for Steelback. That will be a completed item in time for Dragon. We do see NLR come out from ManCloud. He will actually have enough money for Death Cap by the time Dragon spawns as well. So a lot of big spikes will be here in time for Imagine. Similarly, we're seeing Void Staff already done for Alex. We're seeing Hurricane already done for Maple Street. And Aegis already done for Emilia. So big items on all sides here are actually going to be pretty solid. This will be a full power team fight in the next minute.
A little curious as to why ManCloud didn't go for the second upgrade just yet.
He wanted to be able to afford Death Cap by this point.
Yeah, he wanted the Death Cap, but I'm not sure.
He doesn't necessarily need the move speed.
Having the move speed is still really, really effective.
Sure. But it's an economy of choice.
Yeah. It is.
Finishing Abyss was a big deal. Finishing Death Cap's a big deal.
It's always a choice thing.
Yep.
You always just go for those choices.
I personally I'm actually not a big fan of the double upgrade on Victor myself.
I just like the lane presence.
Yeah, he's just wave clearing back and forth. I think Orianna's one of the less easily bullied champions. I think it's totally correct.
You can get to him very quickly in zone in. Yeah. No, I understand his choice.
Okay. Well, Dragon's in 20 seconds here. Everyone's postured around this side of the map. Actually, inside track on mid, but they don't push it in. Oh, they could have zoned out the Morgana and Orianna, I think, and threatened an Evelynn being right there. RNG able to get right back into the mid lane, though. Cleared yet again. And now it's actually inside track onto Dragon yet again. It's now Imagine who were there first. They cleared the mid wave. They got on top of Dragon. They can clear away a lot of these wards, but of course, only one sweeper means they can't get rid of all of it. But the pink is gone. RF pretty much at Mega Gnar.
It's going to do some damage, Chunky.
RF at Mega Gnar is going to be a big threat. It's like 80% bar, ticking up, ticking down over time. Mid lane wave going to get cleared one more time. Steelback forces to take a very defensive route through.
When you're doing these objectives, it is still a little risky on Imagine's side. They only have one person who's buying tank stats.
Tank ward replaced, and Renegades are already in on this one. Riley, like, yeah, there's a bunch of like really soft tanks from Imagine here. One good shockwave kills him. The hook lands on Alex. Black Shield's already on. In comes Mega Gnar. Only gets a couple though, and Chunky Fresh kills off Alex Itch. Baby in the front line still survives, but in comes Emilia. Not doing nearly enough damage. Everybody getting evaporated. A perfect team fight for Imagine.
Clean ace.
Chunky Fresh even here to knock down Emilia. And the question is, what will they choose to do? Baron's on the field. It's got to be the choice. As long as Baby doesn't get picked off, that's the objective.
Oh man, we talked about them having soft tanks. You don't have a lot of armor to do this. Chunky Fresh is the one guy on your team that even has an armor item.
But he's going to reach in a fair bit. They're going to be okay. They can off-tank.
Yeah, they're going to be fine if they just keep going back and forth appropriately.
No threat at all.
Oh, man, because they have the damage to do it now. This isn't that 500 DPS.
They need to instant recall and get the Dragon in time. They will beat Renegades to Dragon if they beeline for it, which means they get every objective they could possibly want.
They destroyed Alex in that fight.
Yeah,
the hook, late Black Shield. Alex didn't get to flash, heal, or use his ultimate there.
Yeah.
Chunky Fresh also had a really good follow-up afterwards with his ultimate, hitting Alex. Didn't think it was going to hit, but they blew the Black Shield right as it was making contact, and they blew him up. Point blank, you got to see it coming. Emilia a little late on it. Boom. Rocket, he blows up the Black Shield, and he's feared.
Didn't summon a heal. Yeah, he could have flashed the ulti. Chunky Fresh finally lands one. And this Victor burst is there. Death Cap Abyssal Victor freaking destroys your AD carry. Sork Shoe's done already. Like, I love this Victor build. I love Burst Victor. I think it's the correct build, and he just freaking destroys people.
It worked out. He has the blue now, but he was waiting for that team fight. The blue's not going to help you out. Number 2 is not going to help you out in the team fight. Getting that death cap and then lasering multiple people, that's definitely going to help you win that team fight. I really understand it, and I really like it now.
And ManCloud's level 16 already. His ulti bursts for 670 and is 200 per second. He's going to absolutely wreck people. Void Staff should be coming next, making it easy. And the one cool thing, though, about going mass upgraded totems, though, to talk about this a bit more, you can't burst your vision around objectives, but if you stay on the field for 3 minutes straight, you just keep getting more wards down. Imagine when they finally recall after Bear Map time's out, we'll have probably perfect ward coverage by the end of this all. And that means objective 2 is easy.
And another perk, I think this is kind of what you're getting at, is you don't have to back to refill your wards.
That's exactly what I mean by that one, is because they keep reaccruing. You can't stack as many up at once, but in a long siege, you guarantee perfect warding. All right, Riley, and actually, wow, Moon going for another AP item here. Could be Merlinomicon, Could be Nasher's Tooth. Woo. Who knows? Could be Athene's.
Would you be disappointed if it was Morello's again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at least he's against 2 summoner heals. So, like, there's some value in that, but...
Oh, the value. I want to see what it is. I don't know if it'll be Nasher's, though. When you're playing Evelynn, you're usually not getting as many auto attacks as you would like. You're pretty much spamming Q and trying to run in circles. And you're disappointed again.
I am disappointed again. It's okay, though.
But it has some value.
It has some value.
It helps against double lifesteal as well.
It is a cheaper CDR item, so like if you're just ulting to get the ult off, then like, hey, it's up every freaking time. And with the maxing W, I mean, he's got like basically no cooldown on that spell anymore. The base cooldown is 9 seconds for Dark Frenzy. And every spell hit reduces it by 1.
Yeah, and E, I believe, counts as 2 spell hits.
Yeah, I suppose it would.
I believe it does.
No, yeah, so I mean, you W into ulti and you press E and your spell's back up.
Yeah.
You just run away from a dissonance or something. So, blue buff stolen away. Imagine keeping their wards up as best they can. 4 pink wards in inventory. They don't have sweepers, but they are buying pink wards properly, so good on them. The item slot they save by not having to buy their wards, they buy pinks instead. So solid stuff here. And a 4.7 thousand gold lead. Imagine are having to work much harder, it feels like, for their advantages. Well, you can sort of tell that Renegade's shot calling feels a bit more experienced, but imagine playing their lead well.
Well, imagine what they ended up doing was they had to play hard to stay even, and then they had a good team fight that started off with that baby hook, and they ended up just blowing the game wide open and getting good objectives off of it. So you could see setting up the objective, not rushing it, really well calculated there by Imagine saying, we have more threats. If we can get to Alex, he's gone. We're able to take the fight after that. And now, we were talking about 2 threats last game for Imagine.
Yeah.
Renegades is on a 2-threat composition here. You have some in Gnar, depending on where RF is and what he does.
Go Cleaver, so but he's not as much.
Exactly, but he didn't even get a good Mega Gnar off in that fight.
Yeah. He really only stunned 1 guy. He like did some damage to Baby and was like, that's cute, I guess.
And Maple's shut down. He's not going to be hitting that highest damage in the game mark that he was on the Urgot. So I like the adaptation of banning the Urgot, identifying what you had to do instead of like pick it away and getting the thresh for yourself. Because Baby, formerly known as Baby Eater, is a guy who I only knew as pretty much a thresh player. Whenever I saw him play other champions, I was very underwhelmed. His Alistar's okay, but then his thresh was the one that I thought was really good. And it's funny because a lot of challenger supports make their name playing thresh.
Yeah, sure.
You're like Remilia, Sheep, Bunny Fufu, Baby, back in the day.
And the question is, can you play other things than thresh?
Yes, and that's something that Remilia has been branching out to.
Yeah. The weird thing is, like, it's almost easy to look good on thresh because like every single ability you have can be like a big playmaking tool. So like if 1 out of 10 lands, you get that sick playmaking hook, you're like, wow, what a good player. But like, if you can't be consistent about it, it's not even all that good. So like that's why I like when a player can show that they're really good at like Janna. It's like they just have good instincts at all times. They're always in the right place at the right time. Because you can look bad for most of the thresh game, make 1 hook and pretend and like you'll look like a good player. So that's why you got to see these players be good at more than thresh.
You just don't like support stealing your spotlight.
Well, like I basically what I'm trying.
Give me a shield.
So I mean I do like, oh, hold on, RF in a pretty bad spot, taking some damage here. Ooh, wow, you saw the chunk that laser does. So what I'm going at with this is basically like, not the discount support players. They're obviously very good at League of Legends and like, you know, they're obviously impactful champions. But there was a comment that actually got to me, which is like, people just say like every player's a Thresh god. And it's kind of true because it's like easy to look amazing on Thresh if you're just good at League of Legends. Because you're like, oh, that sick hook, he landed a skill shot. And like, unlike Morgana bindings, you feel better for landing a Thresh hook. Like it's like a better skill shot to land or something, right? Like no one's like, oh, what a Morgana got, he timed Black Shield. Yeah, it's more important than hitting box, right? It's harder to look good on Morgana, which is why I give Green's player who can play other champions really well, because it's harder to look good on them.
I look really good on Morgana when I just flash into the team and ulti.
Yeah.
That's the play.
And if you have the instincts to do it right, then good for you.
That's the play. Gotta get that Zonias.
Or have Callista throw you in.
Yeah.
That's why it's my favorite duo lane. Because you bounce back to ult range. And you're just like, yeah, I'm gonna kill your AD carry. Blow flash, nerd. And then they don't, and then they die. And I'm like, yeah, give me that kill. That's how my bot lanes usually go.
They blow the flash, then you get him the next time, too.
Exactly. Shorter
rinse,
cooldown.
repeat, rinse, repeat.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Yep. Oh.
What? See, wow, what a hook by Baby!
Oh my God.
Right? Like.
Oh my God. You're triggered. You're triggered.
Wouldn't be challenged without being a little bit trolly, Zach.
I gotta say though, when your play-by-play is triggered and he's just going off and like calling something absolutely epic that's underwhelming, it makes me really appreciate what you do. Just like this guy.
I believe that hook was good.
He's like he goes for the bowl of cereal. You can make anything sound great.
Riv once shoutcasted parallel parking. It was great.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, he could shoutcast an old folks home and it would be amazing.
I mean, he looks the part. That wasn't meant as a diss. I just mean he has gray hair. That's
yeah,
fine.
I gotcha. I gotcha.
Before people are like, oh, Phreak's a jerk. He
said Riv's old.
No. He's the oldest of the casters that are casting LCS. Not by much, but it's technically true. But back into this game, though, we have Dragon and Baron back alive. Number 3 on the plate here. Imagine sitting on a 4,000 gold lead here for themselves. Renegades hoping to stop this one. Again, it's been a very slow burn. Renegades won the game with Dragon 5 at 40 minutes. Imagine are not even close to on pace for that one. There's always a chance that Renegade's comeback does happen. It's not out of reach here. Void Staff and Death Cap now done for Alex. He's going to be very scary on Orianna. But Dragon 3 easily picked up with only 2 members forced. Mid lane will get cleared away, and there's enough wards. Like, for Dragon going down, Renegades didn't take over Baron. They had the absolute opportunity to do so, to sweep every single ward away, to claim control, but they're not setting that up. Not like they were in game 1. Oh, good smite by Crumbs. He gets Scuttle Hook. Oh, he gets Maple Street, and goodbye! He is gone. Chunky Fresh with the ulti in. He fears basically everyone. Crumbs over the wall. Great shockwave, though, by Alex. It buys some time and really forced to flash away. Imagine with a complete lead on this side of the map right now. That was a sick hook, though. That
was a sick hook. Baby's gotten 2 hooks that have opened up the game for them. He's looking for these, though. The positioning that he's taking is just, he's fishing for a hook.
Whoa!
He's going to look for it.
Steelback flash Ruin Kinged to slow down Alex Ich, force the flash away. Whoa, man. That could have been amazing or terrible. Instead, it was average.
Well, he also didn't get hit by the Dark Binding. He was able to get away from the Dark Binding in time. So we're really not able to follow that one up. See what happens here? Nothing.
Ward in the brush, and with only one sweeper, they can't get rid of these very easily. And that's the one problem, though, is Imagine has to recall to get Vision Denial back. They can stay out and put wards down, but they can't get rid of them. They've got to buy some more pink wards. They've got a long room to go on this one. Void Staff not far away from ManCloud, about 600-700 gold needed for him to get that, and then he gets even more ridiculous as far as damage output's concerned.
Looks like Alex is actually going to go for the Zeke's Herald again.
Interesting. So he's going to give that, I would assume, yet again to Kalista.
Harbinger.
Yeah, Zeke's
Harbinger.
Zeke's Harbinger.
They herald the Harbinger. That's how I'll remember it.
Okay. Let's see. Replay up.
He was looking for this for a long time. The flash forward.
So good.
On to Maple. Maple separated from where Vermilion is.
Maple had flash. He didn't see that coming. He could have flashed that hook and been fine.
Good shockwave there to salvage the situation. Moon has to get out of it at that point. And then ManCloud just walked up, QE'd, and then flashes out. He's like, I'm sorry I did that.
Oh, well. All is well, and we're waiting for the next power spikes to come through. Zeke's is going to take a little bit more money for Alex Ich. I think he's about 600 away from this one. He could afford the double amp tomes, but not the recipe. Defensive pink ward to keep their jungle pretty safe, but there's still some pretty good wards by Imagine to really make life difficult here. Baby gets some cash money by killing off the Sentinel, and Sweeper's on cooldown, only 2 pink wards in inventory, so really not enough vision denial available for Imagine. There's the big drawback here.
They have to pretty much pick a fight, win the fight, and then get the objective afterwards.
They can't even pick the fight because they can't deny the vision, so...
They can't bait them into them, yeah.
Right, and so Renegades would be like, okay, we're going to clear mid and split with the RF, like who cares right now? And that's going to be a bit of a problem here. 3 items done on the Gnar. Chunky Fresh does have the Merc Treads to get away from the slows a little bit, but I don't know how good he'll be in the split push up against Gnar. We'll see the matchup now. There, of course, on the bot side of the map is Baron is available. And the team's group towards mid. There's actually a big wave top that Alex will have to clear. And right now, actually, a hard push towards mid would turn into a turret kill.
Moon, my man, he's got another amp tome.
Oh, wow.
It's not one, it's not 2.
I guess Zonia's
going for more. Going for more damage items. I like it. I like it. 348.
Could be the push towards Leander's. I actually don't know if actually buying more AP at this point actually makes sense, to be completely honest.
It always makes sense.
It doesn't always. I mean, I do love AP Evelyn, but in a game like this, you're not getting the farm you need to get that next item. Like, I really think like to function late game, AP Eve needs Deathcap Void Staff. And there's no way he'll ever have that much. But he'll never get that like 7,000 gold he needs to finish those items. I think at this point you can't. Maybe he goes Zeke's, right, and like makes Corki ridiculous.
Maybe.
That actually would be pretty okay with Zeke's on Evelynn. That's actually pretty cool.
Zeke's is completed on Alex, though.
That's a big deal. Now he should be bounded with Maple Street. Yep. Bound, not bounded. That would be how deer move. Bounded through the forest. True. Yeah. You like that?
Maple Street is bound to 2 people.
What? I get it. Yeah, okay.
Boom.
And Chunky Fresh just bounded over to the bottom lane. Now towards the mid lane. Going for another MR item, so actually not that armor tanky. Chunky Fresh. Well, I guess you still got 200. Frozen Heart's a lot. All right. Yep. But he could be more itemized against Maple Street and isn't. So that.
Well, I don't know how much you itemize against the 0-4 guy.
You probably don't. I think this is the correct choice. I'm just sort of pointing things out and then analyzing afterwards. Isn't that your job anyway? I just point things out. You talk about them.
I'll talk about them. That's why I said 0-4. All
right. Meh. That's just pointing things out.
Like it.
So 4 pink wards back in the inventory. Imagine definitely like, and this is I do like because it shows they've practiced the strategy. They're like, yeah, it's 4 upgraded warding totems, but we know we need the pink wards. Even though there's like a lot of money inventory, like 800 gold on most of the major carry forces, they're belaying their item purchases. They're making sure they get the pink wards up.
They have a lot now. Like
this Baron's been up for 7 minutes straight.
They have those pink wards in their inventory, but they already have a lot of pink wards around the Baron.
Yeah, minimum 3 are already on the ground. Might be 4. Might be 5.
This is where you play the game of, oh, yeah, let's clear out all their wards, exhaust their sight stones, exhaust their trinkets. That's actually a pink ward trinket on Alex Each in mid lane.
Oh, cute. Yeah. So yeah, five pink wards on the ground right now for Imagine, spread across the jungle in the mid lane. 2 left in the inventory. They do have almost control over Baron. There's one actually behind the wall that they can't see on the left-hand side. I don't think it'll stop them, and this is very smart. Chunky Fresh is going to solo Dragon number 4. There is no one stopping him. RF is not near. So imagine, I mean, it's a really slow burn, but they are slowly accruing.
Walking up, though.
I think he can't stop him. Oh, he is going to, but RF's going to be overextended for this one.
Here, though.
This is a bit of a risk.
That's
Chunky,
too far.
This is pretty scary. Moon is here. RF is almost Mega Gnar, but this is such a bad choice. Mega Gnar comes across, not doing enough damage. Moon is fine, as the rest of the team. Crumbs gonna run. Oh, play! Shockwave only gets 1. Chunky still has ulti, but that might be enough to attempt Baron after this dragon goes down.
4th Dragon gives you the extra that you need to kill Baron faster.
No Shockwave is a big deal as well. No Mega Gnar. There is no reliable or semi-reliable hard CC left for Renegades. That's not just Crumbs' body. And this means Imagine are going to look for the Baron bait. They've got hooks. They've got Hecarim multis. They've still got Victor. They got everything but box available. Pink ward in the pit means you cannot keep green wards in. Sentinel swept away. Renegades slowly getting some wards back. Imagine taking their time with this one. Moon's down to 400 health. He can't be in this anymore. This is so risky now. Moon's got to be real careful. Gets an early summoner heal, but keep in mind, Crumbs has flash. He has smite. He could steal this. Chunky Fresh is going to have to knock him out of the pit. Hook's going to miss there.
Oh,
Alex gets bursted out. In they go. The team wants what they want, but Baby's going to go down. That's a kill picked up for Renegades. Crumbs will get killed on the backside. Moon and Mancloud still taking down Baron. They get it here. Steelback flashing in again. He wants Maple Street. They're going to get him. A double kill for the AD carry. It's a 2-for-1 in that fight. Plus the Baron Ermilia slowed down. Runs away safely, but Imagine get another good fight.
Another good fight. They get the Baron off of it as well, and now they just get to shove up the mid lane. It's Alex who has to back. RF isn't even going to this lane. They're going to get this turret. They might even get another turret off of it. They have some opportunities here, but no, they're just going to cut their loss, or not cut their losses. Just take that, not get greedy, and then back, and then form up. It is going to be a Leandri's eventually for Moon.
Okay.
So he's looking for that Leandri's Rylai synergy. But right here, just the damage that Mancloud has. Oh, it didn't even look like he hit Alex. He didn't even hit Alex with the initial E.
He's looking for Crumbs. They were aiming Crumbs to get the smite away. And then it's really smart that Moon and Mancloud stayed on Baron as well. And Steelback, his second aggressive flash of the game, pays off completely.
You can see these calls being made on Imagine seem much more collected. When they have more threats, they have more damage to throw at Renegades, and more, like, that's the thing too, is you don't just want to run multi-threat compositions to basically have more damage. You want it so that not all your eggs are in one basket. right?
Yeah.
If you have one person who's strong or two people who are strong and one of them gets shut down, your damage drops substantially. When you have this many threats and Moon is building full damage, the other team has to think about who they're targeting first, who's in their grasp, who can they even get to. And you make it so difficult for them, especially when it's only 2 members.
Yeah.
So when you have all this pressure on Maple and Alex are saying, well, do we kill Steelback? Do we kill ManCloud? Do we kill Moon or Chunky? Because they can actually dedicate 2 people per damage dealer.
Sure, sure.
No problem.
It's the weird thing about hybrid teams like this, where they're all sort of a little bit tanky and all a little bit damage dealing, is they're actually pretty weak to burst because any one of those damage sources can be killed and your team can disengage. But then, of course, that's not happening. Renegades don't have the gold lead to do that. They don't have the burst damage here, and maybe that one good team fight still happens. Maple Street does have 50% crit in team fights if Alex Lynch can get the Harbinger to proc.
Oh, man. Steelback full build already, 455 CS. Steelback just gets so much cash flow from Imagine.
Yeah.
They give him all that late game farm. He actually gets the most gold from his percent of team's gold of all 80 carries.
Yeah.
They focus a lot of gold into that guy.
It's also just not only a team thing, but it's just a very smart play by an individual player. One of the biggest hallmarks of a good AD carry is their late game farm numbers. Because basically what it means is how good they are at going into a lane and acquiring farm while not missing out on team fights, right? He has now actually gotten back in a highest kill participation on the team, while also highest CS. And it's not like he's taxing away from ManCloud. ManCloud can one-shot waves. Like, the guy's still got 420 CS for himself.
He's finding these waves. He's not getting TP'd on. And he's not allowing those opportunities to happen. And he's staying relevant. He's staying close to the fights. Because how many times have you seen your team setting up for Baron, and then the AD carry goes bottom?
Yep. They pull a double if they kill Raptors, and Baron goes down. But to be fair, it is also very easy on Corki. Probably the best champion for that. At not getting killed and clearing waves and participating. But it's still solid performances. Honestly, Imagine looking very good. They've had to work very, very hard for this game, but they are 1 minute and 40 seconds from Dragon number 5. Renegades got the first one. They haven't gotten a single one since. Imagine playing a slow game, to be fair, but it's one where they're always getting advantages.
Yeah, they got that Dragon at the expense of top.
Yeah.
They had to trade that top turret, and they had to trade pressure on RF, and Moon took over the game very early on. Leandri's Torment completed. He has one more item to go, but it's full AP Evelyn so far. Except for his boots. The Merc treads. Make sure you don't get bound for too long.
Really not going to mean much. I also don't like Leandri's because this team is already very bursty. Yeah. You're not gonna like burn down the Gnar. Like, that's not how you're gonna win fights anyway. So I also don't like Leandri's for that reason. It's
still a penetration item. 80 AP, has extra damage on it.
Yeah.
I think it's fine. Synergizes well with Runeblade too. That's fine. Yeah. That AP ratio on Runeblade is something that
it does exist, and it's not.
More AP, it's better.
Definitely is. Well, we're looking for another play right there. Smite out of Remillion, but gets the black shield. The shockwave's gonna be big. Moon's gonna go down. Ulti used doesn't matter.
30 seconds on Dragon 5.
Oh,
no. You didn't have to go for that.
It's gonna get stopped up right there. I'm not sure why Moon went in for that one, but 47 minutes in the game. Such a long death timer. 5v4 Renegades have so much work cut out for them, but they could get a lot back here. 2 turrets, a dragon, maybe more.
Baby was off on the right side. He wasn't in range to actually use his Mikhail's, his shield, to save Moon in any way, shape, or form. And they're going to have to give up this dragon for it. No smite available. They could miracle steal it, but they would lose another person doing so.
Imagine should not go for a fight here. The chance of a dragon steal is not worth giving up another 75 seconds.
Well, we give up another 75. You give up another objective on top of that.
Exactly. You give up more turrets.
Too much.
All right, so Dragon 2 picked up bonus turret damage. Ooh. Not exactly combat relevant, and honestly, Renegades might never see another turret this game.
They're fishing for too much. Imagine is fishing for too much and not herding Renegades around. It's a 10k gold difference. You've gotten Baron before. You've gotten it twice now, and you have 4 dragons. You can play it patiently. You don't have to fish for this. And remember the last time when Baby got 2 back-to-back hooks that changed the game? I was talking about how he's fishing for them. He looks... The way he's positioning is, I'm looking for a hook, and he just went into that mode right there. It seems like tunnel vision where he wants to walk up, assert his dominance, and go for a hook, and Moon was just trying to back him up there, but went off to the left side because he saw people. Yeah. Honestly, the worst possible thing that could have happened to Imagine right there, with only losing 1 person.
Yeah, they lost the right 1 person. Now, he is alive, though. Baron Nashor in 45 seconds. We know a Magic could win team fights. They're still up 10,000 gold. Renegades had to rely on a miracle pick, and Maple actually getting a bit of a defensive item there. Banshee's Veil in. He's full build himself. Corky's been that way for a while. Steelback on 2,000 gold in inventory. I've been criticizing Moon. I actually really think we needed more damage on Steelback here. Double lifesteal I think is not actually needed on Corky. I think him being a higher AE threat. Yeah, even Phantom Dancer actually would be really solid here with how much attack damage he's got and raw stats. It'd actually be pretty good. And we'll see. Oh, Remilia goes for the... Okay, Flash traded.
Flash shield.
But not even ManCloud missing Flash is a big deal. He's one of the huge damage threats who's actually itemized mostly full offense here. And Baron's alive, and these players are on the wrong side of the map. ManCloud's got to go the long way around. Chunky Fresh got to go for a risky steal on blue. Will get it, but Renegades looking to pick him up. They're going for the play right now. Flash in, binding. They're going to look for ManCloud.
He didn't go towards the Lantern. He's
got to be careful. Ulti comes in, looks for Remilia. A lot of damage coming across. He got the burst out. It's going to be fine. The gravity field picks up Remilia. Alexich chased down, picked up a double now. Maple also goes down. This is the fight that's going to win him the game right there. Team Imagine able to clean up absolutely everybody. Crumbs the last one up. ManCloud should be fine. Crumbs goes back into the gravity well. That's the ace. They got 70-second death timers. That's going to be game 2. Imagine bring it to the third and final match in the semifinal.
And that's what's going to happen when you have multi-threat. Everybody jumps on a ManCloud. Boom! 3 other people who can just blow up your 2 threats show up on their backside. They can't do anything about it. And that's going to be Imagine taking the adaptation from game 1, bringing it into game 2, and Renegades look like they were the team that didn't know how to take these fights all throughout the game.
Yeah, well, when you get out-ganked that heavily by Moon, it's hard to find a way to come back in. The Evelyn just preys on you, and Moon hard carries the early game. That was the downfall of Imagine. They transition into a slow and steady and solid mid-game and a well-earned game 2.
Exactly. Their problem was early game. If Moon can get them through the early game, then they get to the point where Chunky Fresh engages. They have Steelback for the damage. That guy didn't die this game. 7-0-5 for Steelback in that Corky versus Kalista, and not having an extremely favorable support matchup. But the Thresh in this series is turning out to be a big power pick. Baby's Thresh got the hook on Alex, which made it so he didn't have reaction time. They were able to blow him up.
Got the hook on Maple that gave them Baron as well.
Exactly. The 2 hooks that he had back-to-back really just launched them to that 10K gold advantage.
And to say it, you know, honestly, Remilia missed a lot of important black shields there. Did eventually go for Mikhail's, but it came out too late. Went from Boots Mobility into Locket. Didn't have the way to get rid of the hooks. Relied on black shields. Those didn't come through. No Talisman Ascension for disengage. And, you know, a lot of small things can come together. A lot of, you know, powerful plays could have gotten the team back in. But the way it happened, Team Imagine played the game better. They deserved it.
Yeah, and Alex didn't do a whole lot of damage that game. He actually ended up being the 3rd highest damage on his team behind Maple Street and behind RF. So Alex didn't even get a big piece of these fights. He was dying with Shockwaves still up. He wasn't able to get to them because everybody's diving him. So another big thing here is we were just talking about how it's the Thresh versus Morgana. Right? It is kind of a counter matchup with the Black Shield, but it puts the burden of execution on the Morgana. So that's the thing. It's more misplay potential, so you accidentally do it a little too late. If you don't know which direction the Thresh is going to throw the hook until the hook is in transit.
Also a big deal.
So I play that matchup a lot. I don't play a whole lot of support, but I play that one a lot, and it's more difficult because if he's looking at your support and he's actually throwing it at the AD carry, you have to react accordingly and hit that person with the shield.
And so, hey, a very solid game by Team Imagine. They earned this one absolutely. And they played a comp that was actually solid, right? Like I think I was saying that they didn't need to make all the adaptations. They didn't need to run 4 threats and ban the Urgot and a bunch of other things. They chose to kind of react to everything. And hey, it worked out. They earned the win. Moon, hardcore MVP of that game by getting that early game to go well. I want to see what he can do in game 3 if he even gets the Evelyn. But guys, going to take one more break tonight. When we return, we're going to have the deciding game 3 with a trip to the Challenger Finals on the line. You guys do not want to miss it. he popped the slow is enough. There's the kill, and now Remilia so screwed. Kill comes around, nicely ganked. The hook lands on Alex, Black Shield's already on. In comes Meganar, only gets a couple though, and Chunky Fresh kills off Alex Itch. Good smite by Crumbs, he gets Scuttle Hook. Oh, he gets Maple Street, and goodbye! He is gone. Hook's gonna miss there. Alex gets bursted out, in they go. The team wants what they want, but Baby's gonna go down. That's a kill picked up for Renegades. Gravity Kill picks up Remilia. Alex Itch chased down, picked up a double now. Maple also goes down. This is the fight that's gonna win him the game right there.